Let's take a look at an easier way to open and navigate your images. Mini Bridge with added in CS5. The performance got far better in CS6, and I believe the layout is better too. Having here right at the bottom of your screen feels a lot like Lightroom to me. Lightroom is another Photoshop product used primarily by high-end photographers as a standalone application. In Mini Bridge, I am seeing my computer. I will double-click on Desktop to navigate there. Double-click on Assets, and we are working on Chapter 2, so I will double-click on the Chapter 2 folder and the Lakshmi folder. So here in Mini Bridge, I can get large color previews. As I slide to the right or the left, I can get more detail. I can also click on an image and right-click and get a context-sensitive menu. If you are a Mac laptop and you don't have a right-click on your mouse, you can hold down the Control key and click once to get this context-sensitive menu. Not the Command key, but Control, a key you hardly ever touch. Control clicking on the Mac is equivalent to right-clicking on Windows. So here I could make favorite. I can individually rename the file. If I choose rename, a more logical name for this image is Birdhouse. And where I intended to do a use space, I will use an underscore. So my name is fully email compliant and web compliant. When I press return or enter, it resorts it alphabetically. If I right-click again or control-click again, I can actually place that directly into Adobe InDesign or open it in Camera Raw, even though it was shot as a JPEG and not in one of the RAW format of the high-end cameras. I can use Camera Raw features on it. In Photoshop, I can also get to frequently used actions. If this was a scene of 2 or 3 shots taken with my camera, I could do photo merge and build a panoramic. But in this case, none of them work as I only have a single image selected. To dissect other parts of the Mini Bridge window, you have your file path here, indicating where the image is stored or where you opened from. This little BR button reveals it in the standalone program Adobe Bridge, which is how Mini Bridge was born. I can hit my back and forward arrows to go up a level or back into this folder. Here I can select all or deselect all or even do a slideshow. Let's take a look at slideshow. First, I will select all. So I have done my select all, and I will come back to this tiny little menu, the View menu, and choose Slideshow. In the slideshow mode, it should autoplay. If not, you can use your right arrow keys or left arrow keys to have it go forward or back. Once you use your right arrow keys or left arrow keys, it does stop the autoplay, so you navigate to each image using the arrow keys. But I am too impatient to wait, so I will just hit my right arrow key on my keyboard. There, where you are, right, left, up, down arrows are stored. The 4 should be together. And I can go through every image, but if I want to just exit out, I don't look at all the images. Escape is very important to know. And when I hit Escape, Mini Bridge guided me to the last image I was on, and my arrow keys also work here. So I quit out before the second last image. Too impatient, but now I can navigate left and right. And finally, the 2 other menus that you have passed this View menu, you have this Sort menu. It defaults the sorting by file name. The good sort by many other things, by width, by height, by a rating that you can give it. And then over here, we have filters if you have given ratings to images when you are reviewing all of your shots. I can show just the 5-star images. I haven't rated any of these, so it makes everything disappear. I will click again, and I will clear the filter out because they are all technically unrated. I could search for something. If I type the word bird, the only thing that comes up is the birdhouse. If I hit this X, I can clear that search, which is filtering to only the 1 image. And finally, you can hide certain parts of this, but If I really don't like to, if you are always working the same folder, you could hide the navigation parts to see more images. I can click this panel menu again. That is the technical term for this area before little lines with the down arrow is technically called the panel menu. I will show my navigation part. You can also hide your toolbar, which shows the file path, but I would like to see as well, so I will turn that back on. So I hope you find this a good introduction to Adobe Mini Bridge. It's been there for 2 versions, and it's a far easier way to open the Navigator files rather than using File Open, which may give you tiny little previews. Play with Mini Bridge yourself. Check out its menu, and it is resizable. I should mention that if you want bigger previews, you simply stretch Mini Bridge to take up more of your screen. That is the end of our Mini Bridge tour.